Hello, we're going to do a full crevice self-rescue. It's really long, so be very patient. At first, we're in our crevice and we're hooked up, and we've got to get ready now to self-rescue. So, in the crevice, normally we would plant an ice screw, but we don't have any ice, so we can't do that. Okay, so the first thing to do is to put our T-block in place. T-block is a little device which will allow us to go back up the rope. We put it in place and we attach, because we're very clever, a pedal to it. This will be necessary later on to help us get up. So we attach our thing and we lock it very carefully. Okay, so now it's locked, the pedal is in place. Now, the next step is to put on our little anti-return pulley. Now this is a very clever device. You have to be very careful not to confuse all these ropes. So this little device has a direction, one direction which makes it not go back. And that is the direction. We've got to give it a little bit of soft, because once it's on, it's hard to undo. Okay, so is this ready to not go back? Yes. And we connect it to our main harness loop with a locking carabiner. So now we're safe. We're safe, and we can undo our main loop, our longe. And in my particular case, I'm going to reuse one of these later on, so don't be upset. So now at this point, we're pretty much ready to go back up. We're going to use this for a little bit of extra mechanical advantage. Pedal is not weight anymore. So this has to be like this and like this. Okay. Very careful to get all of these things right, because once you're climbing, it's not easy. All right, so now we're ready to go up. Let's check and make sure we've got full support from this. Yeah, it looks good. We're up. And you can see that we're already climbing just by pure arm strength. Okay. Now, we're getting higher and higher. Okay. I want to get to the point where my feet are pretty much off the ground. Haven't used the pedal yet. Let's try the pedal just to show you how it works. So the pedal, put your foot in here, and then up you go. Okay, see how the pedal helps? All right, so suppose now we've gotten to the top, and then suddenly what happens? We realize we left our cigarettes at the base of the crevice. Oh, shit, what does that mean? Well, I tell you, what it means is we have to go back down and get them. And how are we going to do that? Good question. Well, we have to put into place a rappel. There's no other choice. So luckily we prepared a lot of stuff. We have a little Prusik loop ready to go. We're going to connect it up and put it on one of these. First of all, we're going to remove the mechanical advantage. We can do this because we're not on the T-block, and it doesn't hurt to do that like that. Okay. So now we see this is backwards, which is bad news. I don't know how that happened, but it did. So we're going to have to take it and put it around all the way behind us so that it's no longer in our way. There we go. Okay, so now we're not on the T-loop, which is on the T-blade, which is good. Next, have to put on the Prusik. This is the safety for our rappel down. We make a little hitch here on the main harness loop. We put it up here. We go around 3 or 4 times. It's the more the better. Try not to get it tangled up with anything else. Okay. That's only 3. I'd like to go one more time if I can. No, it won't fit onto the thing. Oh, no. No, this is not a good thing here. Let's try using a different carabiner. One that can actually work. Okay, so now our Prusik's in place. Now we have a little problem. Is that we cannot put our sender onto this tight line because it won't do it. So we need a temporary solution, and that is to use a sling and a temporary hookup. We're going to do it like this onto our main harness loop once again. Okay, so the idea is to hook that onto there temporarily to release all the tension. So we need to use our pedal. We're going to lower it a bit to get it closer. And then here we go. Remember, this is only to go back down and get the cigarettes that we left at the base of the crevice, which is really stupid. We should have taken them and smoked them while we were down there waiting for rescue. Okay, so now our goal is to hook that onto that carabiner quickly. Okay, so now we're on that. And did it work? No, it's not high enough. So it failed. We failed here. It's not high enough, so we have to unhook. That means reducing all the tension on it and go back to this. That is really not going to be easy. Nope. We have to go back to our previous technique here. And go pull us up a little bit. Okay. And now we release this. Okay, so we saw we have to gain a lot more space than we had. All right, let's try again. Of course, all this is exhausting just for a package of cigarettes, but what can you do? What can you do? And we don't want this in here anymore. Okay. Ready? Ready with the hook. All right. Up we go. Now we're hooked on that, and now, as you can see, our main line is loose. We're hooked. We have 2 safety points, the Prusik as well as the T-block, so we can safely remove the pulley from the system now. To do that, we have to unlock it. Unlock it. Open it. Let some slack. remove the carabiner, open it completely, remove the rope, put it back before we lose it, because this is an expensive piece of kit. We don't want to lose it. All right. Now we're ready to put on our descender. Now the descender has to be hooked on with a little, try to turn myself around if I can, so you can see my face. So the descender needs to be attached now. And to do that, we undo it, undo the little back end thing here. Okay. And again, the descender will go into the main loop of the harness. Okay. Main loop of the harness. Let's pick a knot somewhere else so it's not in the way. Okay. And this goes on here. This goes on here. Alright, and now let's turn it around so we can see what's going on. Okay, so now we put our descender on the main, whoopsie, on the main biga. Alright. Make sure we have it on the slack here. Put our descender on, tighten the thing, and now we're very safe. We have our descender in position. We can move up our safety. We have everything in position. All we need to do now is remove the tension from our T-block using the pedal and undoing the temporary normal carabiner. Okay, we have to do it. We do it. Now we're on our descender. You can see that we're on our descender. We can take away the T-block. We don't want to lose it. That's also a little expensive piece of kit. We have 2 hands, free. And now we can go down to get our cigarettes. We're on our way down. And there they are. There they are. The cigarettes have been recovered, and we can now start over and climb out again with the cigarettes. Thank you very much.